Well, hello people. As I promised, I am making my video on my new project, my speed painting project, which was to be entitled Dungeons and Dragons and the Knights of Christ. And I said that I was going to take the Crusader and Saracen set, which you see in front of you, and also some of the fantasy sets that we've been talking about recently in this group. In this case, I haven't gotten as far as I'd like to. I'm just going to kind of pan over here, and forgive my inability with videos. It has never increased. But these are the skeletons from one box of skeletons, or most of them anyway. This is 20 skeletons. I've saved 4 to do for something else, and this is the dragon from the Mythical Warriors set. I haven't done anything with that yet. But I've painted up about half of what I said I was going to. And I just wanted to share as we go along here. I'm going to hold one of the skeletons up for your approval, hopefully. And if you'll have a look at this fella here, and as I said, I'm no good at zooming in, zooming out, or anything like that, so I'm just going to stick him up there on the screen. All that is a skeleton painted with some silver, some gold, some brown, and then washed over with black and a black base painted onto them. And after the washing and everything else was done, I've put in a couple of bright red eyes. And everything else, I don't know, I'd be interested in hearing what other people think of this, whether this technique is successful or not. The wash is purposely dark, it's purposely dulled everything else down. And my idea is that it draws your attention to the red eyes and kind of makes the figure look a little bit more supernatural, or at least, that's what it's supposed to suggest. So, these are the supernatural villains that our Crusaders and our Saracen warriors have to fight. Now, as far as they're concerned, these were a couple of really nice sets to begin with, I think. Here's all I've really done with them. If anybody's gotten any of these from Michigan Toy Soldier, or you can order them online from Amazon or whatever, they're partially painted to begin with. I have done very little other than to paint the bases black, and there's a reason for that. I don't flock my bases, and certainly not for this project, because these are going to be kind of knock-around figures, as I said. And other than that, here and there where there was an inconsistency or a failure in the paint job, I kind of touched it in. But the main thing I did, and unfortunately, one of the limitations of my knowledge on video is I can't really get a close-up of this so you can see it properly. But I did a wash, a very light wash in this case, unlike the skeletons, over the figures, to just bring out a little bit of shadow and a little bit of detail, and it's especially helpful where their armor is concerned, the chainmail armor of a Crusader era knight. And we have the set's actually fairly authentic. Here's a man-at-arms figure with a pole arm, and that green and the white cross in it probably indicates that he is a Crusader from Lorraine or Flanders, which is where that would have been popular. We have here a Hospitaller Knight, I'm sorry, a Templar Knight, and he gives me the impression of possibly being reminiscent of the Grand Master of the Order, with his red cloak and all, because that wasn't common for them. And he's carrying the flag of the Order. Again, these pieces are not perfect. There's no reason why the flag banner itself would be silver, but it just is. And as I said, they're a very nice set. 16, I think, pieces in the Crusaders for about $10, and 12 in the Saracens. I don't know why you get less with them, but you do. And the Saracens are nicely done too. I think, oddly enough, what I like best about them is the camels. I don't know how terribly historically authentic a Saracen Turk would have been on a camel. They certainly might have had some Arab auxiliaries that would have fought with them on camelback. I doubt whether the the Turks would have done so themselves. I'm also not quite certain how historically accurate that gold armor is. I'm trying to push it in, but again, the only thing I've done is I've washed over it just very lightly so you can see a little bit of the detail on the armor, and I've painted the bases black. And they're both very nice sets. So I've got a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of history to go start off with this. I was really, for D&D purposes, I was really very pleased with the Crusader set. We've got this wonderful figure right here, which is a knight, certainly a cleric with a bishop's mitre on. I'm assuming from the white cross that he is a hospitaller, probably a churchman, a bishop who has something to do with the order. And then I love this figure with the trumpet here. Black cross and white cross on the front. I don't know. It might not be anything historically accurate at all. Could be a Teutonic knight, I suppose. And in D&D terms, you got trumpet there. Is he a bard? Could be. But anyway, a really nice haul for a very little bit of money. I'm hoping that I'm going to get some time on New Year's. I promised my girlfriend that I'm going to help her clean up the apartment, and she is much younger and prettier than anything I deserve to be with, so you just do that kind of stuff when you're my age. Any of you older fellas out there who are lucky enough to be with a younger woman, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I hope you'll give me, as I say, I know that my video is not really a very good one. One of my problems is my first time using this new webcam. And I'm just going to hold a different skeleton up here. And you may notice that the skeletons are considerably, there's one thing about 1 to 32nd scale, it tends to be very, very easy and open, as to what that really means. Supposedly these figures are both 1/32, but obviously the knight just towers over the skeleton. But maybe these are ancient skeletons and Egyptians or something like that, and people have gotten a little taller since then, or it's just fantasy and that's just the way life is. Either way, I'm very pleased with this portion of the set. I hope I do as well with the rest of them. But once again, if you don't think the effect works, don't turn this into a mutual backslapping society. Tell me what you think. As I said, I'm looking for a very washed out, very grungy look on these guys. These are troops who've been severely pissed off because they've been lying under the desert sands for 1,000 years or so, and are now just happy to get up and have an opportunity to kick some butt. And the only detail that really is very, very bright and very, very visible are those two glowing red eyes, and everything else is very understated. If you think I didn't do that right, if you think I should have done a much lighter wash, let me know. But I think it gives it a nice dirty look overall. I know, and that's kind of a philosophical thing where toy soldiers are concerned. There are people who think that toy soldiers should be historical miniatures, and they should look historical, and even the fantasy ones should look historical to the extent that they should be realistic. And so they ought to have a nice grungy look to them, and even my Crusader Knights here, which there's one that oh yeah, this guy here has a nice male coat on him, and I think this is probably either just an early crusading knight or a Templar, one or the other. See if you can, boy, this lighting is horrible. But I think you can see how, even the very, very light wash that I did on him brings out the armor, and it kind of dirties the figure up a little bit. Nobody on the battlefield is very clean for very long. I was not a combat soldier myself. I served in the peacetime army, but I remember doing long marches, and sand and dirt and dust and all that stuff just gets everywhere. So anyway, that is part one of this. I'm going to work some more on it tomorrow. As I said, hopefully I'm going to get the chance. And Yeah, please give me your feedback and let me know what you think.